Good morning, KELES. I'm trying one more time to do a very quick tour of the Dewey Decimal Nonfiction section of the library. We're going to turn the camera around and start. So you can see we are in the tall shelves section. There are arrows on the end of the bookcases. We start with graphic novels, nonfiction, and then move down. You can see where the nonfiction books start. The first two shelves are of graphic novels, because they're so skinny they get lost in the other books. Biographies, story of people's lives, and then here we start with what would be 000 through 999. The 000s, their divider is just generalities. It doesn't fit down here, so we put it on the top. These would be books like The Mystery of Crop Circles, things like that. Psychology and philosophy is 100s, 200s, religion and mythology. With the next stack, you have 300s, which is social sciences. So a lot of careers and things are in this section too. You can see lots of books on that. Here we have in the middle of the number divider. This divider says holidays, 394. So these books are the holiday books. And I happen to know underneath the holiday books around here starts 398.2, which is the traditional folk and fairy tales. And it goes all of these books and it continues over here too. Next section of the Dewey is 400 language. This is where you find dictionaries, books about nouns, verbs, things like that. Books about different languages. 500s is natural sciences. Starts off with general science fair project books. We have a lot of them. And then if we continue, there is a math books are in here at the beginning too. Then there is another divider that says space, 520s. So there's two shelves of space, and move on to more just general science. This is where we find colors, basic things of measurements like distance and stuff like that. Force and motion on this shelf. Then we have some basic information about chemistry. Now turn around, we have another section divider within the number, weather 500s. So on this shelf you have all sorts of books about weather. And this continues storms and more weather things. Next in section divider is dinosaurs, 560s. We have a lot of different books about dinosaurs. In the next section, this is where we have like a lot of information on the different biomes. This shelf has more biomes and more biomes. We get over here, and that would be the 10 minutes left before the next class. So on this section right here, we're getting to where we're just about to start the animals. So right here we have the general animals, and if you zoom in close you can see the general animals start about 591, and it's not focusing, so just have to trust me that that's what it says. Okay, next shelf, insects, spiders, things like that. Next shelf, more insects like butterflies. Okay, we're still in the animals. We have lots of animals. Here we have ocean animals like sharks, and then we have frogs and toads. Then we come down here, lizards and turtles and things like that, and snakes. And then that's in the 597.9. And move down in the 598.47, penguins and other birds. More animals. Now we're into general mammals, rabbits, squirrels. These are all small wild animals. Bats. Down here, whales, dolphins, and then deer. And then we come down here. These books seem to be the big cats and other big animals. Like there's elephants, and you have lions, tigers, things like that, wolves. And the very end of the 500s has foxes, polar bears, monkeys, gorillas. Then we go on to the 600s. 600s is technology and applied sciences. What it means by that is anything that is a man-made or domesticated. So it starts off with books about health and the human body in these two shelves, okay? We'll go around the shelves. Notice, tall shelf. At the very top, we have the arrows, and it reminds you we're in the nonfiction Dewey Decimal section. There is a poster up here with all the Dewey numbers and what would be in each section. Come around this shelf, and we get into machines, okay? So general machines, then down here we start getting to airplanes and cars and space machines. We come over here, we're into farm machines. Now, the next thing is horses. We have a little divider for horses because this would be domesticated animals. So books about horses are here. Then we come down here and we have cats and dogs and a few other books like hamsters and guinea pigs and things like that. Next section, cooking, 640s. So this shelf has a whole bunch of different books about cooking. And then our next divider is 700, arts and recreations, except the camera's not pointing where my finger's pointing. On this first shelf of 700s, there aren't any right now, but this is about where you would see, well, there are a few, the origami books. And then down here, drawing, 742 to 743, comic books, and how to draw. And then down on the bottom, we have more books about artists. Come up to the next shelf, and there's lots of books about music and instruments. Come down here, and about we have here, we start seeing sports, general sports, and then on this shelf we have a lot of the specifics like basketball, football, baseball books. Still in sports, in the 700s, here we get into Olympics and sports like motocross, golf, not golf carts, the go-karts and things like that. So, and this continues those kinds of sports. Then 800s is literature. The 800 section starts off with the books of stories and things like that. And then this section is 811. This is the very last section. There's a llama up top. All of these three shelves are poetry books. Okay, and look, that is not how we take care of our library. If you come around the very last shelf with the 800 books, see, there's a shelf of 900, 800. It's right next to where all the teacher books on tapes are. Here you have joke books. 900s is history and geography. It starts off with a lot of geography about places in the world. And American Indians too is also in there. More places in the world, all of these books. The very last shelf, stack, there's a ladybug and the turtle. This very last stack is the start of history books. There might be a few before. Texas history, there's a little bit here. And if you go around the corner, say hello to Mr. Sea Turtle right above the nonfiction arrow. And notice this is an arrow for teacher books too, because only this first stack is Dewey Decimal. So the rest of the Texas books are here, and then it moves into books about all the different states. If you look down on the bottom shelf, it's teacher stuff, and the rest of the shelves are all teacher material. So that's a very quick overview of our Dewey Decimal nonfiction section.